Dominion Diving's landed a top-secret job with a tight timeline.
This is a military installation. Some of it's classified.
Shawn's got the reins, but it's a logistical nightmare in freezing water, on top of a shipwreck, in the middle of a busy shipping lane. And before they even get started, a piece of military hardware goes missing on the ocean floor. For 50 years, this family's built a business where nobody else dares. Recovering, repairing, resurrecting anything in the world's most dangerous waters. This is their world. Salt water in their blood, come hell and high water.
It's go time. Do or die.
It's the middle of March, the coldest and most unpredictable month on the North Atlantic.
In the last couple days out on site, flat calm, mirror seas, to half an hour later, snowstorm, zero visibility.
Just starting to snow here, but the wind's still down, so we're just going to continue working through it.
On a reconnaissance dive for a big job with the Navy, the Dominion dive team is battling the elements.
Divers are going to go down. We're looking to see any damage to any of the structures that are there before we can get too far down the job.
The divers are searching for a series of underwater pedestals belonging to the Navy. Once they're located, Dominion's mission is to install high-tech sensors on top of them. When Navy ships pass overhead, the sensors test the equipment on board that protects them from explosive mines.
I'm heading out on my line.
So do you see any pedestals close by to where you are?
All I see is just silt bottom.
The pedestals had like a sensor array that have all been removed. They have the installation there, so they're just repurposing it.
Before they can install the new sensors, they've got to find and tag 16 concrete pedestals in frigid waters at dangerous depths.
He's at 80 feet, so he's got about 25 minutes bottom time. Get the 6th one done, he's moving on to the 7th one. If he doesn't get all 16 done here, we're gonna have to pull him up. Ollie will go in and tag the rest of these up. Get that zip tie on, I'll get you to leave bottom now.
Just coming back with the power. I came back.
Roger, diver left surface at 1224.
Roger, that left surface at 12.
I'm gonna just check the distance, like if there was another pedestal. You got lots of slack, it's just you're gonna have to pull, the tide's just pulling you a little bit.
They're looking for the last of the 16 pedestals.
The marine industry, nothing stays the same. You always have wind, you always have waves, there's always forces acting on the stuff that you put there. That's why the military got us in there to go down and have a look.
5 looks good. Continuing on to 4.
And between 5 and 4, it's roughly 15 feet.
Yeah.
If they can't find it within the 25-minute dive limit, the entire mission could be scrubbed.
That's dropped right off.
Thank you. That's all my bottom. There are supposed to be 2 pedestals in this location.
So that's double the distance of all the other pedestals.
All right, that's your time. I'll get you to leave bottom now. You can do a free ascent, or we can get you to climb your umbilical.
They've run out of bottom time and have to come up 1 pedestal short. It's too deep and too cold to risk it.
We're dealing with 100 feet of water, coldest time of the year. After 15 minutes, the divers are starting to lose dexterity in their hands.
You can swim across, we'll start coming up on your umbilical. Just come up nice and slow. Have to go back to the engineers and see what they want to do.
The 10-day job's off to a murky start, and the whole project is cloaked in mystery.
So this is a military installation. Some of it's classified. I don't have to know what it does. We'll go down, we'll do the grunt work, and then where it goes from there, who knows?
The sensor array's exact location is a military secret. Dominion's gotta install it and connect it to a monitoring station on shore. It's like plugging in $1 million extension cord over a mile long at the bottom of the ocean. To make it more difficult, the job site's in the middle of a busy shipping lane. And there's a jagged, mangled shipwreck on the bottom that could snag the cable.
If we damage this cable, it could be 18 to 24 months away for a replacement.
They're doing this job with a brand new, unproven ship, the Dominion Warrior. It's called a multicat, a self-propelled floating platform that can be outfitted for any job.
Anything we purchase, it has to be multi-use, multitask. The Warrior is a Swiss Army knife because it has so many functionalities. Can't wait to get it out on its first job and start making some money and paying some bills with it.
The bosses, Matt and Robin, are going out of town. Shawn will be alone at the helm.
Shawn is the voice of reason.
Shawn's kind of like the glue that keeps everything together and keeps everything running as smooth as it is.
It's very hard to get ahead of Shawn when you're trying to think ahead. He's usually thinking quite a few steps ahead of most people.
Shawn's only got 10 days to finish the job.
That's a drop-dead date where everything has to be up and running. We've made a commitment contractually to have this in and up and running for our client.
Every day over 10 days will cost them thousands of dollars. In just one day, they've already discovered 2 big problems.
Okay, you tell me your stuff and then I'll tell you my stuff.
First, the divers break the news about the missing pedestal.
It's not 16 that was knocked off.
16
Is there. And it's number 2 that's actually missing.
Okay, so we know 2's missing. We've got a hole in the mattress for number 2. Get the data.
Finding the missing pedestal is crucial, but locating the shipwreck directly in their path is more pressing.
This is another chart of the harbor. This one is actually made for fishing. The shipwreck appears in a different location. That other one just shows a big area down there. I think it's going to be prudent before we set our mooring system that we go out and find the exact location of this wreck.
The pedestal can wait. They need to know where that wreck is before they do anything else.
Ready to go on this magic cruise?
Fiber optic cable. Although it's coated, it's at the end of the day, it's a piece of glass. We don't want to be responsible for damaging it.
The danger for us, we want to make sure that it's not going to get on top of it, start chafing, and then cut. That's why we're going to have a look. Okay, buddy, be careful.
To find the shipwreck, the dive team will do a grid search of the ocean floor in deep, icy water.
This is Dominion Diving. We're just diving on a known shipwreck, the Good Hope. Today's diver is Oliver Van Gulik. Okay, go ahead, Oliver. What do you see?
Well, right now I'm just making my way down the down line. I'll check back in with you guys in a second. Visual on the wreck.
Until we find the exact location of this shipwreck, we're kind of all stopped because there's high value in the cable that we're going to be laying. We don't want to get billed back for this cable.
At the Dominion dock, it's all hands on deck for the big Navy job. Shawn's got to get the 2-kilometer long, $1 million fiber optic cable spooled onto a massive reel. There are 3 sections of cable that have to be put on the reel. A short one that connects to land, a 1,600-meter main section, and a 3rd section that connects to the sensors. Fiber optic cable allows data to travel as light. It's made from thousands of individual glass threads, cocooned in a protective sleeve. It's flexible enough to be rolled onto the spool, but any sharp bends or breaks, and the whole thing's screwed. Back with the dive team.
Do you want the good news first, Gary, or the bad news first?
The good news is they found the wreck.
Yeah, we found it.
The bad news is
This is a fucking clusterfuck, though.
Yeah, so we might have to reposition to avoid this wreck.
Basically, a line for cutting machine down here.
the jagged metal could slice through the fiber optics,
Okay, roger that.
so they'll have to work around it when they lay the cable.
Go, man. Welcome back.
Back at the shop, there's more equipment to be tuned up for the big job. The dive site is cold, deep, and dangerous, so they may need to send in machines with a little help from Lorraine.
Matt and Robin are my uncles. They would be my mother's youngest brothers.
Lorraine is in charge of Dominion's fleet of remotely operated vehicles called ROVs. An ROV is an underwater drone that can survive longer and deeper than a human diver can. They're equipped with propellers for thrust, cameras as eyes, and the bigger ones have hydraulic arms for heavy lifting.
I learned to do this basically by trial and error. This is the big one, MRV. Basically, I learned a lot of my stuff on the job. Started off doing pipeline surveys, which is just a straight line, and you got your boom arms. You basically just look for rocks and fly straight down the pipe. And then I just gradually started doing more difficult tasks, and now I love it. Pretty good at it. This is a Chinook. It's fairly new to us. I've flown it a few times. It's a really nice ROV for its size. It's very responsive. Quite heavy. There's different ROVs for different jobs. The smaller ones we have, we can fit down in some pretty small areas. And here we have a smaller one. And this one we call the Interceptor. I don't go under the water. I actually prefer to stay above the water, unlike some of the people here.
Out in the yard, it's finally time to prep the Warrior for battle.
That good? We have a deck plan that's all scaled out. It's like playing Tetris here in the office. What if we put this here and put that there? You want to come this way some?
Yeah, you gotta come this way.
And then we come down to the loading day. And it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Not very good.
That's not very good.
Up first, that massive reel spooled with $1 million worth of fiber optic cable.
Is it possible to spin that the other way, that container?
For this job, the Warrior's primary function is as a dive platform. They're long, deep dives, so they're loading on a decompression chamber inside this shipping container. Divers will use the chamber to maximize their dive time and reduce the risk of decompression illness. That can be fatal.
So with this type of diving that we're going to be doing in this depth of water, when the diver comes up, we put him in the chamber and he does his decompression on the deck. So we don't run into any decompression issues or bends. We don't want to hurt or injure anybody. So this is our quad of O2, 16 bottles of medical grade oxygen. This is what the divers are going to breathe when they're doing their decompression in the chamber. I guess that'll work. What about our door? Our door's not going to close, right?
To keep the rest of the crew safe, they weld every component onto the deck to keep them secure.
Boat starts rocking, all this equipment could just slide and cause some real damage.
Which is starting to get a little bit tighter. See what kind of space I have up front to stick it. We need an extension.
With almost 15 tons of gear aboard, it's a tight squeeze, and they'll need room for this precious high-tech cargo. These are the sensors that are being plugged in at the bottom of the ocean. This array of sensors is worth more money than the Warrior, the cable, and all the other equipment aboard.
The cable gets connected to this unit, and then it's going to be lowered down on the ocean floor, and it's going to stay on the ocean floor. And then we'll go around, start picking up all these units, and we'll be placing them on the pedestal. So we'll have a couple guys in the water when we're doing this, and we'll be placing them on the respective tabletops.
The barge, the sensors, and the $1 million cable are all good to go. But not before the dive team figures out how all this gets connected to shore.
You know how we're doing too. Okay.
No, we don't do that. Those two gentlemen up there are gonna give us a hand. What they've done is fed a line down. They fed a line down that I'm gonna go retrieve basically and tie off to this.
Be careful.
To help connect the cable to shore, the dive team are looking for a line to pull their guide rope through an underwater conduit.
You don't see any yellow rope around there at all.
Yeah, nothing coming out of the conduit.
Yeah, roger. You don't see anything around that just coming out?
No, there's nothing. I've reached my hand all the way up there, and I did a whole circle kind of pattern here on that way. I didn't feel anything.
Yeah, roger. Hey, how's it going? We don't see anything, unfortunately, on our end. I don't know if maybe you're getting fetched up on something. We didn't win. Chances are with the tide going up and down, and it's been so cold, it's probably a buildup of ice inside the conduit.
Now I guess we're gonna go back to the drawing board and try and figure out how we're gonna get rid of that ice or whatever the fuck's blocking the conduit so we can get a pull rope through, because that's huge for our job. Without that, we're kind of fucked.
It's day 5 of the 10-day Navy job. But Dominion hasn't found the last of the 16 pedestals that are the platform for the high-tech sensor installation.
These pedestals missing is a real mystery. Like somebody would pluck a flower out of a garden.
Enter ROV tech, Lorraine, master of finding lost things in the vast underwater garden. She's got a tool to help with their search.
This is FMV40. I've actually had a lot of flying time with this ROV. The big green thing that you see on the top, that's the buoyancy. And without that, this thing would just sink to the bottom. We got our color camera, we got our sit camera, which is for low light, and a port thruster and a starboard thruster. We have to replace these quart nozzles here. They've taken quite a bit of damage.
Collisions with underwater hazards, like rocks and debris, have left this unit battered and bruised.
We're gonna remove the arm, the manipulator, new bushings, try to tighten things up with that, put some new hydraulic fluid in it. We're kind of on a tight schedule here too. So yeah, usually I'd have a hand here, but everybody's kind of busy with the cable laying job.
The completion of the Navy job hinges on finding that missing pedestal. But to do that, Lorraine has to get this ROV in ship shape.
And she's off. So yeah, we'll be taking this all apart. There's some broke pins on it. Bushings need replacing. Yeah.
Across the harbor, that frozen conduit threatens to put Dominion Diving's big Navy job on ice. They can't connect the fiber optic cable to the monitoring station until the conduit is cleared. So Shawn's called in an outside contractor.
It may be small, but it's going to set us back another half a day or 3/4 of a day. And that sets the schedule back, and the schedule is so weather dependent, it could be another week before we get weather again. There's an ice block in the tidal zone.
I think it's about 80 feet in.
We're not able to pass anything through this conduit. So we have a company here. They're going to put high pressure hot water down the conduit. That's going to free up any ice that's in there. And the theory behind this is that should allow us to establish our pull line through, and then we can start getting our cable.
Delay is unfortunate, but much better than risking the project.
All right, so I'm just coming up to the conduit here now. All right, we got a snake through here.
Okay, Eureka. We have success.
Right on.
On the tail of a small victory, a winter storm rolls in, making the ocean too rough to lay the cable.
With the weather delays and the storms we've had, that has pushed us back.
By the time the weather clears, Dominion's only got 3 days left to finish the job.
Hopefully the wind will stay away and we can get out there and lay the cable and get diving.
Just finalized our plan, so we're gonna go and talk to the people on the Warrior, make sure everyone's on page, and then we'll just get her going. Get in the water. Start hauling cable.
Okay, I can see the rope going up.
With the ice cleared from the conduit, the fiber optic cable is pulled through.
That's it.
And connected to shore.
The cable is subsea.
Okay, copy that.
So the dive vessel's just moving out of the way. They're going to come around the bow of us, grab the marker buoy. Once that's out of our way, we're going to spin around and we're going to start paying out cable and moving to the next location.
Now that the first section of cable is connected to shore, the Warrior will spool out the longer main piece that takes them all the way to the underwater pedestals, the final location of the high-tech sensors. On the dive boat, the team are searching for that location. Over a mile from shore is where the cable will connect to the sensors.
We want to go right here. We'll set our marker here, and this is the intended location for the sled. Yeah. Just hold the hose. Yeah, we're holding the hose. It looks like he's found the range. That's your guy. So you want to just put that to your left? You got a good solid 5 minutes.
At these depths and temperatures, bottom time is limited. The divers have marked where the cable will end and connect to the sensors. But back on the Warrior, Shawn still needs the go-ahead from the engineers.
Time of day's getting on. It's 1300, 1 o'clock now. I was hoping to be further out. I was hoping to be laying cable by now.
Shawn's waiting for the engineers to secure the cable on shore before the Warrior can resume spooling it out.
We kinda jerry-rigged tying the cable off to an anchor point down in the pit, but we're hoping you could pull this off without any strain on the cable.
Yeah, we'll get it out there and get it attached to the anchors.
Roger. We believe we're ready for you to go.
They finally get the green light.
Ready to go. Start the show.
But they have to proceed with caution.
So they have the end of the cable secure in the building with a rope. So it's not on a proper cable grip, which means I can't put any strain on it at all, or I'll pull it out.
Too fast could rip the cable from the shore connection. Too slow could cause a tangle.
We're just paying out cable, making sure it's going nice and even, that we don't give it any sudden shocks or pulls. We'll be going over 1,600 meters. Slow her down a little bit.
It's hours of work laying the cable in precise position, with winds and currents constantly blasting the Warrior off course.
The wind has come up a little bit. It's changed around on us now. So it's kind of pushing us over towards the island a bit. The tugboat on the side, he's pushing us back and forth, keeping us in line.
It's careful work. Make or break. $1 million of cable lowered to the seabed, bit by bit. But then, there's a problem.
I'll stop there, Jerry. Cable just went underneath the anchor. Jerry, can you come up on the anchor?
In our position a little bit now, so we're maybe going over top of that again, are we?
Slack in the cable has looped under the Warrior and become tangled. The wrong move could damage it, undoing days of work and breaking the bank.
I'll stop there.
Can't go any further.
That's it? Okay. Okay, if you start backing away, Jerry, you can deal with this, I think.
Pushing easy. I'm all stopped on my engines, but we're still moving the steer.
That's looking good. We can continue on. I'm happy up here. It's all clear and free.
They've untangled the cable, but they won't know if there's any damage until it gets tested.
This is one of our paint marks going over the side. This is a measured mark. Tells us exactly how much cable's left. So we check that against the mark on the computer.
That mark indicates the end of a section. Time for the engineers to come aboard, connect the next piece, and test that the anchor didn't damage the cable.
All stop there, Corey. We've got our anchor down. We're all stopped here, sitting right now.
Okay, we'll be right over.
We're really just the rough tool that's installing the cable. These guys they're the tech guys. They're gonna make sure everything keeps working.
If the cable's broken, it's $1 million, weeks of delay, and a big blow to Dominion's reputation with the Navy, an important client.
Just grab up here. Okay, so we got the cable coming over the front. We've got a loop here. Take that off.
Well, our plan's to just pass along the side first. We'll get it figured out on the other side.
The subsea cable is fiber optic cable. It's a delicate cable. We don't want to be responsible for damaging it.
Break it, we gotta hold it all up.
Yeah. Not bad. Yeah, so it's plugged in, we're on deck. So test it, let us know. All right.
This is the worst part, the hurry up and wait, we call it. You want to go, go, go and get it done, and you just, there's certain areas, certain spots where you just have to stop and follow your procedure.
Right. 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 So Jared says everything looks good on shore.
The cable gets the thumbs up.
Thanks, guys.
And Shawn can see the finish line.
I'll have the two ends here, and then you can connect it up. And then we're only 150 meters away. I'll flash this up, and we'll spin some cable off.
They have to spool off one last short piece of cable in order to reach the site of the pedestals, where they'll deploy the sensors, AKA the sled.
That's where the sled's gonna go?
Okay.
I'd like to get the sled down today if I can.
All right. But installing the sensors will have to wait until tomorrow. They only have enough daylight to finish the cabling. Two days left. It's do or die. If they don't get this job done on schedule, it's going to cost Dominion big time.
Divers are coming with a truckload of gear. We'll get that all loaded in there, then we're ready to go.
In the shop, Lorraine is working hard prepping the ROV to search for the missing pedestal. But the rest of the job can't wait.
Today we're going to anchor up inside the mooring. We'll get up out there, get set up.
They moor the Warrior in place above the pedestals.
Once they get the lines all run, then we'll adjust everything up so we're sitting right over where we're gonna work.
Yeah. Don't be catching them up in your prop.
The Warrior is locked into position over the job site, ready for the engineers to connect the cable to the sensors.
Here. Hey, good. The cable's actually coming under the barge right now and coming up over the bow, yep. I'll have the divers all dressed by the time you guys are done, just so we don't waste any time.
Got you out clear as well.
The cable gets connected to this unit, and then it's going to be lowered down on the ocean floor. You guys happy with the slack?
We'll just be to finish tying things off.
Perfect.
Connecting the sensors is the final step. Before they're lowered down to the exact location of the underwater pedestals, where they'll be installed by the divers.
Got me, bailout's off the hat.
From here on in, the dives are long and cold, like plunging into liquid ice for up to an hour.
You got your hot water on now?
Because of the temperature, we decided to go with a hot water suit. We pump down 5 gallons of hot water per minute. Divers will be nice and comfortable, toasty warm, basically, like diving in a jacuzzi.
Christian is first in the water to guide the sled to the ocean floor.
Hey, he wants to take a tool line down, so you want to just grab that. You got it ready?
The heated suits prevent hypothermia, but the biggest risk to the divers' lives is the length of the dive. That's why they loaded this decompression chamber onto the Warrior at the beginning of the job.
The advantage of this is that you get a longer bottom time. So you've seen that we've been diving 90 feet to 100 feet. We've only had like 15 to 20 minutes. With this, you can get up to 60 minutes. And now I'm entering the inner chamber. And then there's a bench here that can go down so it can accommodate 2 divers. The deeper you go, the more compressed air that you're breathing. And then your body uses oxygen, but it doesn't use nitrogen. So nitrogen gets absorbed into your tissues. When you have a carbonated pop, you can shake it up and nothing's happening, right? Until you open it, and then you release the pressure. If you come up too fast, you start making more and more bubbles that starts blocking blood vessels. And worst case scenario, you could block your carotid arteries, and then you'll pass out and you could die.
To avoid these risks, the chamber puts divers under pressure to crush the nitrogen bubbles until they are small enough to be passed naturally. The diver's in the water. The sled is ready to go.
These black things are digital magnetometers. So there's 16 of those. I'm not sure exactly what they do, and I'm not sure who's allowed to tell you.
That's secret squirrel stuff, that.
Yeah.
I'm going to check to connect end and the test. So we're going to get this over. It's going down to 10 feet for 15 minutes. And then it goes to the bottom.
We got Christian in the water. He's going to make contact with the sled.
Ready, ready? Ready, ready.
We got some O-rings up here. Yeah.
So he'll go up there and follow it down, basically ride it down with the crane, make sure we got a nice clear landing spot, and then we'll set it on the seabed.
One final test. They won't lower the sled all the way to the bottom until they're positive the components are waterproof and functional in case they have to haul it all back aboard.
We're just, he's in the water, just kind of hanging out, getting comfortable with the hot water suit. So whenever you're ready, just let me know.
Okay, Roger. Ferguson's Cove, Dominion Warrior.
Yes, this is Ferguson's Cove. We have power disconnected and results are good. Clear to proceed.
Okay, Roger, clear to proceed. Thank you.
It's thumbs up from shore. The cable is connected, undamaged, and functioning perfectly. Underwater, Christian carefully guides the sled to the bottom.
Roger, coming down easy.
So we want this to be on bottom, not on the mattress, but just to the north, off of the mattress.
Okay, all stop, all stop.
All stop, all stop.
Roger, I'll stop.
Okay, well, stop there.
Alright, so we're just a couple feet off bottom here. I'm going to try and move these cables around so we can land that in a nice clear spot.
Okay.
Okay, we're drifting too far to the east. Anytime I move the cable, we just drift back over it.
I know, it's just the wind's blowing us that way, man, so.
No, I totally get it. I'm just chasing my tail down here, trying to move the cable.
Can you swing your boom to the left?
Roger, swing left.
We want to be approximately 30 feet to the north.
30 feet, 3-0?
Yes, sir. 3-0.
They're off the mark. The crane can't reach far enough to drop the sled into the correct position. The only way to move the Warrior is by adjusting the mooring ropes.
All right. We'll slack off the barge and we'll start moving.
Copy that.
We'll keep an eye on things down here.
We're just slacking off the rope a little bit at a time and using the wind to push us back.
The longer this takes, the higher the risk for Christian, the diver who's waiting 100 feet below the surface to guide the sled into place.
I'm anxious to get this down now.
That looks great, guys. Down easy on the wire, please. Down easy.
Coming down on the wire.
Getting the sled on bottom and secured would really represent the end of the cable laying phase, so we don't have to put anything else down there. So you get that rigging off and that'll be you.
The delay lowering the sled burned up Christian's bottom time. He needs to surface now.
Roger that, leaving 30.
And the decompression clock starts ticking.
When the diver leaves the ocean floor, he has 7 minutes to get up on board her dive platform, take off his diving equipment, get on 100% O2 in the decompression chamber. If we go over 7 minutes, if it's 7 minutes and 10 seconds, then that's it.
Diver, take the ladder! All right, hats, take it off. Coming near the steps, coming near the steps.
Oh my God!
Right. Off.
Chains are off.
Sit down, sit down, sit down.
Clear, move first.
Yeah. He stayed down there for an hour, so because of that, he has a lot of residual nitrogen in his body, and because he shot up really fast, it's growing big. So we only have 7 minutes to get him into the chamber and blown back down to 40, so he can do his decompression stop.
I got the door going for a seal. We got 7 minutes available. Within 3 minutes, we had him at 40 feet on O2.
Christian's out of danger.
Roger, coming up on the crane.
But the job's far from over. The sled is on the ocean floor, but Dominion has to come back tomorrow to install the sensors.
We'll end up packing up for the night.
If they can find the missing pedestal. It's the last day of Dominion's big job for the Navy. But they can't complete the contract until someone finds the last concrete pedestal on the ocean floor.
There's 16 of them, and one, for some reason, is gone. So these pedestals are pretty big, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. We brought our sonar today, so hopefully we can pick it up on the sonar. But who knows? Might not even be there.
We got a couple new people on board today. We got Lorraine, hasn't been out with us yet. The boat guys will get us tied up, so everyone just sort of stay out of the way. And then when we get tied up, we're going to transfer from this boat to the other boat.
This is our control console here. This is the lifeline. This is your deck cable.
Lorraine's decided on a smaller, more nimble ROV to navigate around the wreckage on the underwater job site.
I'm at a depth right now of 21 meters. We got bottom in sight. Not picking up anything yet because we're not on the bottom. Very easy to get lost.
Lorraine's got unlimited bottom time to scour the ocean floor using the ROV's video and sonar. But starting the sensor installation can't wait.
So we've gotten the go-ahead to start deploying the sensors. So we'll take one at a time. One diver will pay out the cables, and the other one will go around to the pedestals and secure the sensors on the right pedestal. So you're gonna go down the tool line. Whenever you got two divers, you got two umbilicals, you've got two people talking, two videos, so things get a little bit more complicated. I think we're good to go. So we've got Aiden, also known as Boots. He's gonna hop in first. How you feeling, Christian? You good?
Yeah, Dave, I'm good. Get my gloves on, I'll be jumping in.
Okay, diver 2, you're good. Leave surface as well.
The divers can start their work, but they won't be able to finish it until Lorraine can find the missing pedestal.
So we got pedestal 8 right there.
Basically just doing the same thing over. We cleaned them off, drilled the holes, and now we're installing the sensors.
It's slow, methodical work. Each sensor needs to be mounted to the corresponding pedestal for the entire array to function properly.
We're starting to get to the end of their dive time. Then we'll try and get both divers back to the downline. So we got to do the same thing. We got our 7 minutes, but now we got to get 2 people in the chamber, so everybody's really got to be on their game.
Along the bottom there.
Got diver 2 there as well. Let's get him ungeared.
As each diver surfaces, they must enter the decompression chamber to remove the life-threatening nitrogen bubbles that form in their blood during the long, deep dives.
Casino. Okay, we got both our divers successfully in the chamber, just over 3 minutes of our 7 minutes. Divers at 40 feet. Yeah, copy that. Slack diver wood.
Everything's going like clockwork for the dives.
Okay, diver 2, he would like for you to hold the wrench.
But without that last pedestal, the final sensor can't be installed. It's all on Lorraine.
Well, I just see a lot of rocks right now. The seabed's all pretty rocky. Making my way over. Dead ahead. You definitely got to know where you're at and like how to navigate without using just your cameras. You got to use your sonar, you got to use your compass, even your boat reference. You need to just keep it all in the back of your head. It's very easy to get lost. Visibility's pretty good down here actually right now.
After 2 solid hours of searching, Lorraine makes a find.
Oh, I got something here. Looks like a head target there. This looks like it might be the missing pedestal. Let's have a look.
It's 45 feet at a position, probably dragged by a boat anchor or fishing gear.
I guess Shawn's gonna be happy to hear this. Found it.
It's still close enough that the divers can complete the job.
Everything's looking good. Lorraine and the ROV crew found the missing pedestal. We should have this wrapped up today. So you got sensor number 10, and you are on your way. What's coming up?
10 days of freezing cold weather, delays, and problem after problem. A missing pedestal, a frozen conduit, dangerous dives, and millions of dollars on the line. It's a big win for Dominion and a huge victory for Shawn.
Perfect.